you. And Dr. Luksik, I want to give you an opportunity. We've got Mary Lou Bruner, who is running for State Board of Education. She is an experienced educator. Going into that position on a State Board of Education and facing what she will face, how do we dismantle it? We've got our marching orders, if you will, of moms and dads. We need to build the masses. But for those people like Mary Lou who are in the system or will be in the system, hopefully if we can get her elected, or others who we, through education, allow them to see the truth of this, how do, at that state level, because the narrative of the ESSA was that when they passed that they were giving rights back to the states. Well, what we know is it's not. And so at that state level, what can we encourage our elected officials to do from the inside?
One of the things, and I'm assuming that Mary Lou would be not in the majority if she gets elected to the state board. So just an assumption on my part. One of the things that we have used in the past, not just in this issue but in other issues that I work in, is the minority report. So they have a whatever, and they do a vote, and you're going to lose. You can and should issue your own, just like the Supreme Court, you get the dissenting, you get the majority opinion and then you get the dissenting opinion. You can issue a minority report. You are absolutely allowed to do that as a government official, and you can insist that it become part of the record. So you don't just have to vote no. You're going to pick and choose your issues because otherwise you'll drown. But if you have a background, as you said, in the testing, then your minority report would be something that parents can use, point to, take to elected officials. This is a state board member. Look what she says. Nobody answered this. Minority reports are excellent ways to get information out with a stamp of officialdom on top of them. And that's very helpful.
I think that's a great idea. And that's what I've been saying as I've been traveling all over these 31 counties. I've been telling the people that I could be their voice, and I want to hear from them. And when I get elected, I'm going to still be visiting with them in their towns and in their meetings, the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, and anybody that will let me come and talk to them and hear them. This teacher that we talked to the other day, she was so alert. She said that because of the IEP, she said the children, they have shorter tests and they only have to answer a few questions here and there on their test. But then when they have to take the end of the course test or the end of the year test, then they have to take the same test everyone else takes. Their being in special ed is just totally against the good of the child, because he would have done better if he had been in the regular class and had been forced to try to stay on the same level that everyone else was. But since they put him in special ed and gave him special tests, that he's not prepared for the end of the year test at all. So
exactly.
I don't know what.
That's because they're redefining special ed from children who have actual difficulties, whether it's autism or a diagnosed learning disability. Special ed is now defined as you don't meet the standards. So, and what Secretary Duncan said as one of his farewell presents before he left was, well, with the appropriate scaffolding supporting, there's no reason that every child can't learn these standards. I'm not sure what planet he lives on, but that is what he said. And so the idea is, just as you said, well, they have to take the same test, except they can't. And so we're destroying these children. They can't. We're destroying these children.
And another thing that they're doing, the words "No Child Left Behind" and "Every Child Succeeds" Act. Those words are misleading, totally misleading, because with collaborative learning and group learning, they're letting the children teach themselves in groups. And, of course, when they do group work, they get a good grade, like A or B, and the child can have failed every single test, but they get enough of the group grades that they will pass the test, and then every child succeeds because they all pass. But the problem was they didn't learn. They may have gotten a passing grade, but didn't learn, and then they still have to take the test as if they had learned because their grade says that they achieved something, but they don't.
Yes, you are exactly correct.
It's time for parents to rise up.
If I could just add one action item, you heard from a lovely lady who has that has had the courage to step forward to run for the State Board of Education in the state of Texas. If you have not contributed to her campaign and you live in Texas, shame on you.
Hey, right there. Thank you so much. Amen. Amen. We and they are coming full force after Mary Lou Bruner because they know that she's a threat. So I will make my contribution. And Mary Lou, do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm just thinking that the parents are waking up. Everywhere I go, I say some of these things to them, and they are listening. They tell me horror stories about what their children are doing in school, and I think we just need to keep on going right now and not get discouraged.
That's right. That's right. Dr. Luksik, any final thoughts before we close out the call?
You know, I actually totally agree with what Mary Lou just said. It is our God-given right to raise our children and direct their education. And when we as parents stand up to protect the rights that God gave us, there will be a way for us to achieve that purpose. And so we need to remember that there is a way through this because there's always a way to do the thing that is right.
That's right. That's it. There is always